Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and it is truly refreshing to see that we have a chairman and a ranking member who are both concerned about our rural veterans as well. And I thank you, and I look forward to working with you. Mr. McDonough, first of all, I want to thank you for the phone call the other day. The opportunity to visit with you was good, and I appreciated the knowledge that you bring, your preparation for our visit, and your understanding of some of the challenges that the VA faces. I also, look, I plan on supporting you in your nomination for this position, and I thank you for your service to our country. Mr. McDonough, the Hot Springs VA facility in Hot Springs, South Dakota, is a critical part of the department's Black Hills healthcare system. In October, Secretary Wilkie rescinded a record of decision on the future of the campus, which provides vital healthcare services not only to South Dakotans, but to residents of Nebraska, Colorado, Wyoming, and so forth. I'd like your commitment, if confirmed, to work on moving the Hot Springs facility and literally the Black Hills of facilities themselves up into this century with regard to the services that they're providing, and literally to lay out a long-term plan for their success for the veterans in the rural areas.
Thanks, Senator. I really appreciated our conversation on this, and I committed to you then, and I recommit myself to you now to work closely with you on this and addressing the needs in the Hot Springs, in and around the Hot Springs facility, in as much as it is such a critical piece of the delivery capability, not only in South Dakota, but as you say, in Nebraska, Montana, Wyoming.
The Mission Act, which is what we operate under now for our health care, is an item that I didn't vote for. I didn't vote for it because it took away guarantees of a veteran to be able to find a physician of their own choice if they couldn't get an appointment within 30 days, or if they were more than 40 miles away from a healthcare facility that the VA sponsored. I thought they were making promises in the Mission Act that we might not be able to keep. I think you step into the administration of this facility, of this agency, this administration, in which you're being asked to do a lot of things and you're going to get pulled in a lot of different directions. I don't expect you to be able to see the detail of this chart, but this is a chart of the VA and what it has. You're expected to provide educational opportunities, you're expected to provide housing, you're expected to provide final expenses, a final resting place, and you're also expected to provide health care to VAs across the entire country. If you look at this, you can go down 13 levels before you actually get to where a real doctor is at or a hospital is at in the chart. And for me, that says a lot about the challenge that you face. I don't think that's something that a lot of people realize when they talk about the VA and what happens. When you promise everything to everybody and you lay it within an administration like this, whether it's a Republican or a Democrat administration, the challenges of handling a bureaucracy are huge. You walk into a bureaucracy with perhaps as many as 380,000 individuals, some of which are providing direct care, others of which are trying to find reasons why the care can't be provided. Specifically, what my concern is this. Right now, in the approval process, when we ask for someone to participate in the care for the community, it's not veteran-friendly. Too many of the approvals are made by people who work to make sure that the veteran stays within the VA system, regardless of whether or not it's good for the veteran or not. And while the flow chart says that the veteran's decision is the veteran's decision, as Senator Moran suggested, it always comes back to the VA for approval. In my opinion, it is tailored for an urban veteran with easy access to tertiary services and not the rural veteran who may have to drive well over 50 miles for access to see a primary care provider. If confirmed, what will you do to afford veterans their choices as to where they receive their health care?
Thank you, Senator. And I really appreciated our conversation before on these questions as well. Any credible strategy as it relates to rural care for our vets has to have at least three components. One, community care, and community care has to ensure that more timely payment of bills. It also has to ensure a more vibrant network of providers, providers who want to be part of that network. And I think in both of those cases, a more active or a higher set of expectations for the third-party administrator, for example, is probably wise. The second thing is using access to new platforms. We had a very useful conversation, I thought, about telehealth, as I did with several other members of the committee, consolidating those gains and growing those. And then third is getting more aggressive about using the authorities that you have given the department to recruit and to fill the vacancies in the facilities that VA already has. And so among those three prongs of a strategy, I think are the answers to ensure that the best medical outcome for the vet, which as I read the statute is what you all have demanded, ends up being the deciding variable in the equation.
My time has more than expired, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for your thoughts, and particularly the one about timely payments for those providers.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Senator.